You cannot be relevant to the world if you do not understand where you are coming from. And to understand where you are coming from, you have to be able to appreciate where you are coming from.
Welcome to the House of Entrepreneurs, where we help others pursue entrepreneurship. My name is Marvin Tumwesije, and I'm so happy that you're here today.
When a crisis happens, two things happen to a person. One, either a person can try to make sense of what has happened, and by making sense of what has happened, you can do what I call by anti-optimistic sense making. So meaning that a person is negatively making sense of what has happened, and by doing so, he can be frozen. So the crisis freezes the person. So he doesn't have the drive, the thrill, to seek new opportunities. So the crisis leads the person to a pathway that I call by negative swamp. So the person get stuck in that crisis. It freezes you. And another pathway is what I call by optimistic sense making. So you become more optimistic to the crisis that has happened to you by giving optimistic or positive meaning to that crisis. And here a person can ask himself or herself for 4 questions. 1, what was or what is the event here? What has happened here? And 2, what optimistic words do I assign to the event? What has happened? What are words, or optimistic words that I can assign to the event? And this question leads to the third question, which is, what story do I tell myself out of what has happened to me? And remember, as I mentioned about that interviewee, participant who said, if I had survived the Civil War, what else I cannot survive? That was his story out of what has happened. So what story do you tell yourself? And finally, what strengths do you draw from what has happened? And if you take that pathway leads you to the door of creativity, to the door of innovation, to the door of resilience, but also, as I say, creation. And then that's where quite many people don't do.
That is such a good model. It's such an empowering model that people, they either freeze or they either learn from what happened and draw the strength from what happened, and then become innovative. And launch out.
Of course, it's throughout history. I have today people are talking about resilience. You have to be resilient. I like the concept of resilience, but also I believe that you can be resilient and not be creative. And not be able to thrive. Because I have seen that in my communities, where I am coming from, in the Republic of the Congo, in my small town, Dolizi, because of the civil war that we went through, I have seen a lot of families who have become immune to the suffering. The suffering has become a part of them. They say, I have seen it, it's not a big deal, no matter what. is happening, I will still survive. But that mental state or attitude freezes them not to be creative, not to say, yes, I am resilient, but how I can improve my state of being, my state of feeling, my state of creating.
That is so good. What in your findings, what was these immigrant entrepreneurs, what are some of the business? I'm curious to know what are some of the businesses that they are doing.
They have there is a variety of businesses that they do have. Some of them have a chain of restaurants. Some of them have businesses in taxis filing. Some of them have renting cars. Okay. Some of them have janitors business as well. A chain is not just one, so they multiply the businesses. So they have a variety of businesses.
Were there some surprising findings in your research?
No, not at all. Because when you go to do the research, you go with the open mind. Okay, you are open-minded. You don't go with pre-established findings that you wanted to find, something like that. So you go to explore, because my research was an exploration. Okay, so you want to explore, you want to discover. So you let the results speak for themselves, and then you interpret the results. But I was more not surprised, but more interested, in finding that in water drive and tenacity were at the core of the success of these business owners. And I believe that that's what makes a lot of business leaders are different. Okay. All business leaders are not the same. They are different. There are those who are highly driven, tenacious, and there are those who are not highly driven. It's because of the organizations that they are there. Okay, it's not kind of the inward drive in them is telling them you have to make it. No way to quit, and even you quit, but you can pivot. Okay, and that's also something that I found quite interesting in my research. How business leaders pivot when they face any challenge, any crisis. Yeah.
Do you think drive and tenacity are inborn or they are natural?
That's probably another debate. That's probably another debate. Because you will find probably two groups. Okay, groups of people can say, in water drive tenacity are born. Okay, you are born with it. And some people can say, no, it's not born. Okay, it's nurtured. Okay, you learn. Okay, or you acquire these skills as you grow or from what you went through. But if you want me to give you my opinion, my personal opinion,
yes,
I would say probably you acquire these skills. Okay, and the way that you acquire these skills by being aware of what you went through, by understanding and appreciating what you went through. Because anyone can be taught to be a manager. But not anyone can be taught to be a leader. Okay. Leadership. Even if today we have a lot of schools of leadership, but I think there has to be something in you, okay, to make that extra mile. okay, to have that that nerve, okay, where but everybody is turning against you, but you can stand alone. You can say, yes, I believe what I am doing and I can make it happen. And throughout history, we have seen those leaders, okay, as well. You know, I just mentioned um, Jeff Kennedy,
yes.
okay, who said, you know, we choose to go to the moon. Okay, at that time, not many people believed in him, but he said we're gonna make it and it's going to happen. So we also have seen in, you know, in Africa a lot of leaders, you know, such as Patrice Lumumba, okay, in the past, you know, Thomas Sankara.
Yes.
So we can talk about the current, okay, leaders, Kemi Seba, you know, etc. Rwanda now, I know there has been a lot of controversy around, you know, but it's all about politics. But you know, we have a lot of leaders who are doing, you know, a lot of things. Even myself, okay, because when you do a PhD, it's a very a tough journey. At some point, you wanted to give up. And usually it takes here in America the average is, you know, 6 to 7 years to finish your PhD. So I was able to finish my PhD in 4.5 years, and then I have seen people, you know, dropping out of, okay, the PhD program. A lot of politics, okay, in the PhD program as well. So you need to have that inward drive, that, you know, tenacity to say, you know, I know where I am coming from, I know what I am looking for, and I cannot, you know, give up on myself. I cannot do that. But that's not something that you know, you people teach you, or you can be taught, you know, at the school or even at home, something like that. It has to be self-search, self-discovery. It has to come in you, and I have come to believe that to have that element comes from your personal history.
Thank you. You, I like how you explained the what challenges do you think these immigrant entrepreneurs face here in the US and, you know, in their entrepreneurial journey?
They faced quite a lot of challenges. First, the ecosystem of entrepreneur. I mean, let's say the entrepreneurial ecosystem, okay, in the US, because most of them do not quite know how to operate, you know, in this new, okay, system. They were not born here, so they have to learn. Okay, they have also to learn how to file taxes, you know, etc. And sometimes also they don't have kind of you know, training, you know, entrepreneurial training, okay, per se, to find out what kind of skills, okay, they do need to manage well the businesses. So they may be driven, tenacious, but also we needed to acknowledge that managerial skills are important. So they may not have, okay, them as well. And also another challenge is language, okay, too. So some of them are not English native speakers, so they learn how to speak English probably when they came here. So when they speak, sometimes they speak with an accent, and sometimes that accent is not picked up, like, by, you know, people who listen to them. So there are also quite a lot of biases that come, okay, around that, you know, too. And also another challenge I can say, it's to have access to the capital, you know, to the grant, okay, how to file for the grant, you know, etc. You know, for some small businesses, okay. So I think those have been quite, you know, challenges, you know, for them.
what there's someone who is watching, and they have been thinking about getting into entrepreneurship or starting a small business. What do you have to tell them?
Listen, I'm not. I try to restrain myself from being a coach or the name coach. I don't think that's a part. Who I am. I cannot tell someone you must start a business. Okay, but I believe that an entrepreneurial journey is not quite easy. Okay, someone really needs to have inward drive and tenacity. Because at times you will fail, your business will not go as planned. You need to search in yourself, find what makes you come alive. And if you are not able to do that, I'm probably quite afraid of how you can be successful.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Besides, because most of the time when we talk about business, this is also what I have come to understand. We always believe that the success of a business lies in capital. Okay, having money. You have money and you can start a business. Lies in the ecosystem in which you live in, okay, and the taxes, etc. And there are other factors that we believe that your business to succeed must have them. But as a researcher, an academic, I myself, I am a consultant. I used to have a business back home, social enterprise. But I have come to understand that there are two basic traits that an entrepreneur must have: inward drive and tenacity. Okay, those are two things, and those are two things to me are drawn from your personal history. What you went through, whatever that crisis can be. Okay, how do you come out of it? How do you come out of it with a broken heart, in a sorrowful manner, in a pitiful manner, or do you come out of it with a soul and in a way that captivates your soul and your heart to say, yes, I can make it no matter what?
Wow. So if I can just sum up, if I can just sum up what you just said in the last is, if you don't have the inward drive and no tenacity, you're not going to be successful at entrepreneurship, because you always have to look back. There are times when things will not go the way you expected them to go, and you always have to go back and look at yourself and have an inward look and say, what really motivated me to start this business? And if it is for the wrong reasons, you'll give up. But if it is for the right reasons, you'll move ahead, because that every time you look within yourself, it shows you your personal history, that you say, no, if I have survived this, if I have survived the civil war, if I have survived the hardship that I went through, then I can survive this. And so you keep motivating yourself. And so that's one thing I can, and I agree with that. I agree with that so much, because sometimes you cannot move ahead if you are always waiting for people to inspire you.
Yeah.
You need to inspire yourself,
of course,
to to start to have that inner drive that you're talking about.
Of course, and that's a very good thing that you're saying, because nowadays we are talking a lot about motivations, about inspirations, about self-help, but I think the most important motivation is the one that is intrinsic, is the one that comes within yourself. Okay, because imagine if no one is there to cheerleader you, what will you do? Will you give up? Probably, because you need that external motivation or inspiration to keep going on. And that's a very good point that you have mentioned. Okay, it's to have that inward drive. Okay, to have really that inward drive, and then I have come to believe that it's that inward drive and tenacity comes from your personal history. You may not go through the same challenges as your parents went through, but you need really to have the spirit, the soul of inward drive, the tenacity that your parents have, and the parents have to pass it on to you.
So thank you so much for first of all coming and just taking us through that journey of the importance of personal history and the things that have shaped these immigrant entrepreneurs, and just learning that there are two factors, which is tenacity and the inward drive that motivate these entrepreneurs to keep going.
Motivate them, but also that makes them successful.
Extremely
successful.
So I really want to thank you for sparing your time to come and share your findings. And I hope my viewers, those that are here in the US or those that are home that are thinking to come, they are thinking, okay, if I want to make it, I need to have that inner drive. Okay, you know what? Let me just in a few sentences. Do you think we've always had this statement before we came, that America is the land of
opportunity
and dream?
Dream. Yes.
Say something about that.
Of course, I believe so. I think America is a land of a dream. Is a land of any dream can come true in this country. Any opportunity you can seize in this country. The problem is that do you have the inward drive and the tenacity to go after what you want to get in this country? Because America is not free lunch, as we say. Okay, it's not a free lunch. Okay, it's not given to you freely. You have to go get it, and sometimes you get knocked down. For us coming here as immigrants or students, because of how you look, because of your accent, how you speak English, people can look down on you, even in your business, as well. But you need really to find your ground. Okay, you need to have your two feet on the ground, and then there is a line that I like in American in national anthem. The home of the brave and the land of the free. So it's the home of the brave. You have to be brave enough to succeed. And you have to be free enough. Free from any enslavement. Free from any constraints that you can impose upon yourself. That people can impose upon you. It's not free. It's not a free lunch. Excuse me. okay, in this country. And if you read my book, you will understand a lot of things. Because there are immigrants who are here as well. You and me are saying this. Maybe we are in the position of a privilege, okay? Because there are quite a lot of immigrants may not be in the same positions that we are, okay? Because they don't have papers. Because there are a lot of challenges, okay? But at the end of the day, in my book, there's a sentence here that I want you to read. I think very quickly. Just let's say, yes. So I usually say in my book, there's a sentence as that goes as follows: success is for a man or woman who says, those who say I can't, I say I can, and I will show you, even if I die trying. It is neither the earth nor universe, but rather human beings that make failure or success. So it's all about it. Success is for anyone who can say, no matter what is happening, I can make it. So America, of course, is a land of opportunity. Is a land of dreams. But also, I believe that where we are coming from is a land of dreams and opportunity. Africa is a land of a lot of opportunities. And sometimes we do not know how to seize those opportunities. There is a very interesting book. I mean, in my book, I mentioned it, too, in my first, book, The Power of a Personal History. But the book that I wanted to mention was written by Russell, Cornwell Russell. And the title of the book is The Acres of Diamonds. And in that book, he kind of I am going to summarize, okay? The idea is that we always believe that the green grass is in the other person's backyard, while we have diamonds where we live, but we believe that it's outside that we can find diamonds. And when we go there, many of us end up being delusional and dying poor. So Africa is the green grass for us. So the diaspora should go back in Africa, build Africa, no matter what.
I agree with that. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm so happy that you watched till the end. I want to encourage you to subscribe and like our content so that you don't miss out on any of our content. Thank you so much.